Hello students, today we will go for the supplementary reader and the name is Vistas. So before reading Vistas, you should know what Vistas actually mean. So Vistas, in other words, we can say that it is the distant view of a wide area, or else we can say it as the panorama or the prospect, the scene, etc. And what I believe is that the supplementary reader is also equally important, and as a student you should go in detail also, because too many inferential question comes, and unless and until you read the book in a detailed way, you may not be able to answer all the questions. So that's why students give equal importance to the supplementary reader also. So today we will go for the first chapter, that is the third level. So before going into the chapter, students, I would like to ask you one question, that do you remember any such lesson where the main character is just traveling between the fantasy and the reality? In 11th standard also you might have read one chapter. If you remember, that is the adventure. So in that chapter, the Professor Gaitonde or Gangadhar Pant, both are the same person. So he too travel in the two world. One is the fantasy world, that is the past, about the history period and all, and that took place during the battle of the Panipat, and the other world is the real world where he lives there. So similarly, this chapter also similar to that one, that is here the protagonist Charlie travels in the two different worlds. One is the real world of the New York City, and the other is his fantasy. And the question rises that what is the third level? So third level simply means that it is the figment of imagination of Charlie, the protagonist of the story. And third level also means the level of the Grand Central Station, from where the train leaves for the far-flung areas like Galesburg to Illinois, and that too in the transportation of space and time. And nobody dared enough to transport themselves to the third level, but in this chapter we see that first Charlie, and later on his one more friend, the psychiatrist friend Sam Winner, he says that he is in third level. So that's why this chapter is somewhat the curious one. I think that you will love this chapter. So students, now on the screen you can see that the one picture I have shown it to you, and in that picture it depicts about the main character Charlie when he goes to the third level, where he is as he skips to the past, and he is in the garbadine, that type of the dress, it is a dress of a very strong fabric which they used to wear, and he also see that so many other people are also wearing the same thing. So you just have a look on the picture, and the same picture is there in your textbook also. So well students, now we will just proceed to the chapter. So when the lesson begins in your textbook, the very first paragraph, the lesson begins with the mention of the Grand Central Station and the two levels. But Charlie says that there is a third level, and he further insists that he has gone to the third level also. But as for us, the president of the New York, means the New York Central Railway, or the New York, and all the other people, those who are familiar with that very particular place, they can swear and say that there is hardly two level. But Charlie says that he had gone to he went to the third level, and he believes in the existence of this hypothetical third level, and time and again he claims that he went there. So now thinking about all this scenario, what he thought that to have a word with his psychiatrist friend. And he went and met his psychiatrist friend and he told him all about the existence of the third level. So as soon as his psychiatrist friend heard all these things, he simply told him that it is just a waking dream or wish fulfillment, or in other words we can say that it is a hallucination. So that means what? Hallucination, it is a type of a person experience especially some disorder in the mentally, if the person is somewhat disturbed. So here we see that the protagonist is also mentally disturbed because he just got very tired of the city of, that is the New York City, and he just wanted to skip from that place for a short period so that he can lead a peaceful life. So that's why he always skips from the reality to the fantasy world. So when he explained all these things, what his friend, he told him that as you are very much the tired of the busy life, and so that's why you find yourself pushed in such a environment which actually doesn't persist or actually doesn't present in the globe. And later on, thinking over that very particular verdict of his friend, Charlie begins to believe that yes, because he too feels very tired, he is very much tired of the war, the world wars and all. So he just wanted to escape from the reality just for a short duration of time. Later on, he starts, whenever he hears from his friend the same thing and all, he starts believing that yes, all this thing is happening because he himself want to free himself free from the harsh realities of the modern problems and all. So that's why the writer, or so, that is his friend, psychiatrist friend, Sam Winner says that his indulgence or his the hobby of collecting the stamp is also a sort of refuge from the reality. He just wanted to free himself from the harsh realities of the modern life. But as far as Charlie is concerned, he doesn't take it in the same way, or he takes it otherwise. He says that his grandfather too was very much interested in collecting the stamps. He had got a good collection of stamp in their house, that is in the Galesburg. And moreover, he feels that because in those days, the grandfather's time all, so that time the world war was not there, so the people just lived in peace and harmony and in a secured way. So why he indulged? So that's why he doesn't agree to that. It is a sort of refugee from the reality. And he also cites example that is even the president that is given there in the textbook, that is the President Roosevelt. He says that even President Roosevelt also collected the stamp. So that doesn't mean that he too was an escapist or he too want to escape from the harsh realities of life. Then after this, in the chapter we see that Charlie now starts explaining how he happened to enter into the third level. So he says that one day he was a bit late at office doing his work, and later on when he found that he was a bit late, so he just wanted to rush home and he wanted to be with his wife Lusa. So that's why he thought that in case if he take the main road and all, that means it will be a bit late. So he selected the subway simply to reach the house or simply to manage the time. He never thought of escaping from the reality. But he says that he is not able to understand why all these things happen only to him. Later on in the textbook we see that in the next paragraph he just goes on describing about himself. He says that he is an ordinary man, that to his age is somewhat 31 years of age, and he was wearing the gabardine suit and the fancy, the band, a derby hat, all these things which take him to the year that is of the 84. So 1984, that is he just proceeds to the past. So he says that yes, he finds himself in that very particular dress, and he even notices some other people in the Grand Central Station, they too were wearing the same dress. So why he is having such a means, why he feels so? Because he is now transported in the space and time. There is a relation between that one. So now he went to the past, that is to the 1894. So that's why he sees people according to his own vision. That is, it is a waking dream, we can say that, it is a wish fulfillment. For example, the wish, the fulfillment or the waking dream, such examples, I can cite you one simple example. Sometime, in the clouds, when you have a look on the cloud, some small creatures, some animals, it may be that for you the cloud might look like a rabbit, and for your friend it might look something different. What is that? That is a wishful thinking. We think that now, yes, the cloud is like that. It's look like a rabbit, or it look like a horse. So that is that. So here also he is having the wishful thinking that he has just want to live in Galesburg, Illinois. So that's why he finds himself in the same dress of 1894. And from there he says that he is just now wants to tell us about that part of the incident from where he entered the Grand Central Station. So that means what? He entered the Grand Central Station from the Vanderbilt Avenue, and from there he just proceeded walking, and the entire he reached the first level. So when he went to the first level, at that he saw everything quite normal as usual, because the people were boarding on the train similar to that of the 20th century. And from there he just took one more staircase that led him towards the second level. So in the second level also all the things were similar as usual, because from the level the suburban trains used to leave. So he saw all those things, and after that he skipped to the illusionary world. So he says that he took one more staircase, and from there he reached the arc-shaped doorway was there. He just entered into the doorway, and that door led to him a very long corridor, and finally he reached the third level. And the third level, he says that many people use the third level as an exit. So that's why he also wanted to use it, and all these things which means day to day life that happened with him, he never all in a detailed way disclosed it to his psychiatrist friend. So now he says that, and moreover, though he went to the Grand Central Station 1,000 times or 100 times he might have gone in his lifetime, but every time he says that there is a lot of change in the Grand Central Station. And according to him, different new corridors and the lobbies he used to find. So that's why it did not matter him much. And once he says that he also entered the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel, while the other time he emerged at an office building that was some 3 blocks away from the place. So this was not the case that happened to him for the first time. So now he says that he wondered that the Grand Central, it is growing like a tree with its new branches and roots every time. And now he enters that part of the Grand Central the station from there, which led him to the third level. So now he entered a corridor, as I told you, arc-shaped doorway, and the corridor was that, and he just walked in the corridor and nobody was there. It was time and again it was angling, and some angling from the left side and slanting downwards. He just walked the same way, and finally he only heard the one and the only sound that was heard was his own footsteps. But then also he did not stop there, he moved on, and later on after some time he heard some sound of the people. So he thought that yes, some people might be there, and he proceeded on just hearing that the sound. So when he proceeded towards that very particular place, there he saw he finds himself in the third level, that is in the Grand Central Station, whereas in reality in Grand Central Station there is no third level. And now students, in the third level, what the different the things that he observed, that is in a very detailed way, it is given in your book in page number 3, the second paragraph. You can just have a look. What is that? He is just talking about that as the New York City's the railway station, that means what? It should be very high tech one. But as he was traveling in the year, that is the past 1894, so that's why he analyzes the things, or he sees the things according to his own vision. So that's why he says that in the Grand Central Station, there were fewer ticket counters were there, very few trains were there, and the information booth of the New York City, he says that it was made of the wooden structure, it was there, and some people were standing just by the side of the ticket counters and all, and these people, he says that almost all the people, they were dressed, and even the costumes and the makeups and all, in the same way. So what he says that these people, they had the green eye shade and a very long black sleeves protector. And in the Grand Central Station, he sees about the very dim lights which can't be there, but he says that as he is traveling in the time and space, so that's why he says that yes, the dim light, and sometimes he also says that is the open flame gas light. And besides this, in a detailed way, he is explaining about the other things, because why I am reading from the text, because in the short questions such question comes, what are the things which Charlie observed in the Grand Central Station or in the third level. So this paragraph will provide you answer. It is bit followed in the next page also. So in the next page, he is just talking about that in the Grand Central Station, he even saw the different the spittoons were there, and that spittoons also that were made of brass one. And not only that, then all of a sudden, his eyes, he just caught a glimpse of some person, who was taking just a golden watch from the vest pocket. And he further says that he also came across so many people who were having the same, the physical appearance, their hairstyle, their mustache, each and everything, the people with the same, the mustache, fancy mustache with the sideburns, and the women's, the wearing the mutton sleeve dress. Mutton sleeve dress simply means that it is a tight fitting dress. So he says that yes, all the scenario that presents like that of the Victorian age, because he wanted to be there, or he just skips to the past. According to him, past is a very secure place, and he feels very relaxed whenever he travels in the past. So that's why he sees a thing all around him in the same way. So finally, when he not only this, he even came across the type of trains, that is like a very small courier and Ivy's locomotives with funnel shaped stack. So such type of funnel shaped stack and all, in modern the world, and that too in such a high tech city, such train doesn't exist. But he sees all those things around, and he says that confidently, he asserts that he had gone to the third level. So now when he saw all these things, then also he was not satisfied. So that's why, in order to validate his suspension, what he did, he just went to the side by some boy, he was selling the newspaper. He just went to the newspaper boy. So students, now on the screen, you can see about that, the newspaper, The World. It is available. Okay, so some small picture I have shown it to you, that is the newspaper, The World. So he just went to the boy, and he means try to look at the what is the date that is printed on the newspaper. So in the date and the name of the newspaper is The World, whereas in reality what is that this newspaper The World has been discontinued for the past so many years. But Charlie says that he had gone to the third level and there he had seen that is the newspaper The World, and that also it was very in a bold letter, it was printed June 11, 1894. And when he sees all these things, so now he was damn sure that just by seeing the date on the newspaper, he was damn sure that yes, he is in the right place, he is in the third level. And in the very beginning I told that according to the Charlie, third level is what? It is a level from where the train go to the far flung areas like Galesburg and Illinois. And as far as Charlie is concerned, he loved Galesburg, Illinois, and he always had a desire that he and his wife means they just wanted to go to Galesburg, Illinois. Why they wanted to go? Because he was very much tired of the modern life, the very fast and the busy life. So that's why he just want to go there where you can see about the wooden structures, the big houses and all, it is made of the wooden structure. And not only that, the days just moves on in a very pleasant way, and you can see that the people having plenty of time, and they used to during the summer hours and all, the days are very long, and they used to sit outside the house, waving the palm leaves, and the men folk they enjoying the cigar. So likewise life seems to be very pleasant, and that is the hidden desire of Charlie, that he just wanted to go to that place so that he might feel secure, he can lead a free or a very peaceful life. So that's why now he was sure also by seeing the newspaper. So that's why he proceeded towards the ticket counter. So when he reached the ticket counter, there he just demanded 2 tickets for Galesburg, Illinois. And the clerk on the ticket counter, he just calculated the fare. And when he told him about the amount, so at that time what Charlie did, he just took out the money. As Charlie, he is in the present world, but he is traveling in the past. So that's why the currency what he has in his pocket, that was of the present era. So that's why he says that when the clerk in the ticket counter, when he saw that one, the money, he just threatened him, and he threatened Charlie that are you trying to fool me? So now Charlie was very much frightened, and he left the place. And later on, the next day, what Charlie did, he went to the bank during the lunch hour, and he exchanged, or he just withdraw all the savings, and he converted them into converted him into the old currency. And after converting this old currency, that is, he exchanged $300, and the old currency that he received was only 200. But that also was not of a great matter for him, because for him going to Galesburg, Illinois was the much importance, and he thought that once he go there, and there the things are very cheaper, so this premium and amount can be overcome by him. So that's why he just went to the same Grand Central Station to find the third level. But unfortunately, what we can say is that he never ever found the corridor that once led him to the third level, because after the second level, in the beginning I told you, he just entered an arc shaped doorway and a very long corridor, and from there he says that he reached the third level. But later on, when after exchanging the money, when he went there, he did not find any third level at all. So now after some time he came home and he just narrated all these things to his wife Lucia. And as far as her wife is concerned, she was much worried when she comes to know about that her husband Charlie, he was just searching for the third level. And suddenly Charlie realizes that in the meantime he realizes that his friend Sam Winner is nowhere to be found. So that's why now they just thought of searching his friend, that is the psychiatrist friend. So now as Charlie was very much disturbed because he did not find the third level, so he came to his house and he was just fuzzing with the stamp collection, because the stamp collection is a sort of a refugee for him or a sort of asylum for him. So that's why he was just fuzzing about the first day means that is a stamp collection. So what he sees that when he was fuzzing about the stamps collection and all, so at that time he comes across a first day cover. And the students, as far as the examination point of view, the first day cover, what is a first day cover? It is a very important question. So first day cover is simply, it means that the stamp collectors means whenever a new stamp is issued, so they used to means purchase that one, and in an means self-addressed envelope they used to mail to themselves, simply because that postmark shows the date and all. So that's why the people, the stamp or the collectors, they used to have the first day covers. So when he was fuzzing with the first day covers, means the stamp collection, he came across one such one, and it bears the postmark, but the postmark was somewhat faded, it was somewhat dull brownish in color, and 6-cent stamp with the picture of the President Garfield, it was there. So that much was visible for him, and he also tried to find out the date. So the envelope was sent on July 18, 1894 to Charlie's grandfather in Galesburg, and it was addressed to Charlie. So from that time onwards, it was just lying in that Charlie's the stamp collection. So now usually in the first day cover, in that the self-addressed envelope, it will be a blank one, no letters will be there. But today when Charlie, when he opened the first day cover, from inside one letter was there. And that letter means the letter is the students in your textbook, the letter is there, you can just go through that one. So in that the letter, it was written that Sam Winner, his friend, he says that he has reached Galesburg, and now he is spending the whole time there, and he says that Galesburg, yes, as Charlie narrated to him means previously, Galesburg is a very pleasant place, the peoples are enjoying the lemonade, they have plenty of time means to share with one another. And further he tells means Charlie and his wife to just go on searching for the third level unless and until they reach there. So now the next day means when after reading this letter, what Charlie did, he just went to that very particular the store. So from where his friend converted the new currency into the old one. So now from there in that coin store, he had come to know that his friend means whatever he earned or whatever the savings he got, from that he has converted them into the old currency and all. And finally towards the end, the students, you see that what it is written there, at the stamp and the coin store I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of an old style currency that ought to set him up a nice little hay feed and grain business. So that means what, this hay feed and grain business he is mentioning, it is simply because it was a long cherished emotion, he just wanted to have that one. So now finally the lesson comes to an end in a mysterious way, because it is a mystery that whether the psychiatrist who always said that it is a waking dream and wish fulfillment, and now finally He reached the place and he tells his friend, you also enjoy the life in the Galesburg. Thank you students, and you just to go with the questions which it is there in your textbook.